to Sandman's Bullpen, brought to you by Buster Cooler Sports Network. My name is Patrick, and it's been a rough couple of days. The Yankees have completely fallen apart in the past two games. Toronto's had their way with them, 10-1 in Game 1. Gausman pitched a great game. Luis Heel, not so much. The offense struggled mightily in the first game. Big opportunity with bases loaded, and we were only able to convert one run. Uh, Judge is really not living up. He's living up to certain expectations, and his fraudulent postseason continues. It's as much as I love the guy and the stats and the numbers that he puts up in the regular season, it is getting to monumental lengths to not acknowledge that he just is a completely different animal in the postseason. And Lewis Heel, not great. The bullpen, key issue from the last series, key issue throughout the season, fell apart. Big games from the Blue Jays lineup. Vlad Guerrero Jr. has been on a tear. Game 1, he hit a home run. He drove in multiple RBIs, and then Game 2 he topped himself. It is not looking great, and I didn't really want to make this podcast and really review the last two games, just on the merit of the Yankees still have a shot. As the old Yogiism goes, it ain't over till it's over. It's starting to look like it's over. Having Max Fried go into Game 2 and give up 5 earned runs, and then Warren right after that, you get absolutely worked over, 13-7, and a lot of people, well, there was fight in the Yankees. It's garbage time. I mean, it was absolutely a dog walking, and they went in and absolutely embarrassed the Yankees in the Rogers Center. I mean, neither game was close. The only thing that you can really say with the Yankees, maybe the momentum going back to Yankee Stadium, but I don't know. I want to have hope for Rodon. I want to have hope for Schlittler. Game 5 is if we make it to a game 5, and at this point, either way, it's going to be brutal if we get eliminated in the divisional round, especially the heights that we reached last year. Is going to be a monumental slap to the face for the fandom if we get eliminated by Toronto, especially after our gutsy, gritty, fight to the end with the Red Sox. I'm still happy that we were able to eliminate them, but it is going to feel incredibly deflating, especially after the end of the year. We had a lot of gutsy wins, and as much as it is an issue, I think we've seen the bullpen issues coming, and I think it has been something that any Yankee fan saw coming, especially with the collapses with Luke Weaver and the point that Game 2 we're down to having to throw in Warren and hope that he can get a couple of quality innings because we're so afraid to take the chance with our bullpen, and that absolutely terrifies me. Even if even by some miracle, if we get past Toronto, which I, again, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer. I don't want to say that, it's not possible because we've come back from worse and, just, it is possible. It is very improbable. Uh, it is a gigantic hill to climb. Uh, ro- that batting rotation, that lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays is so uh, aggressive, so absolutely dominating that it is going to be a monumental task for Rodon and Schlittler, and I I can't blame them. I can't blame them if they get knocked around. I mean, you had our ace for this year was Max Fried, and he got absolutely smoked. And you're telling me that Rodon, and I love Rodon. Rodon has had a renaissance year. He has looked great, but you're asking for a monumental task for him to keep us in game three, and especially when Toronto smells blood in the water. And then you ask Cam Schlittler, who is playing a better offensive team. Boston, as much as they want to say that they were equal, they were not. They were not an equal team. They had our number. It was partially Roman Anthony. A big part of their offense fell off as soon as he got injured. It's not a team that is remotely as offensively potent as the Blue Jays. And again, team that has had our number consistently. And going into the series, especially coming off of the Boston series, is so absolutely deflating. And there's, as much as I would love to throw the blame at Boone, it's not it's not entirely his fault. I mean, what do you do? Both both pitchers in your rotation have been knocked around utterly. What are you supposed to do in that situation? You don't trust the bullpen. So I can't really blame him for the Blue Jays hitting. They're just a really good offensive team. And I really didn't believe in them. I mean, how many times have we seen the Blue Jays have great offenses go into the playoffs and lay an egg? Or better yet, they go to a wild card, get knocked out in the first round. How many times have we seen them not even make it? It's it's very deflating when you feel like you're that close that it is it's going to be more deflating if we lose to Toronto like this, and especially off a anything less than winning the series is going to be absolutely heartbreaking. I honestly think we're on par as a team. We were on par with the Tigers or Seattle, and if we got knocked off by either one of those teams, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I really do believe that we are a better team than Toronto, but we have absolutely been outplayed by them. And I don't know if they have more gumption or they have more heart, but they have taken the momentum from the Rogers Center and absolutely stomped on us without a doubt. You can't argue that. And in that moment, what is Aaron Boone supposed to do as the manager? He can't bat for Aaron Judge. He can't pitch for Max Fried, and As much as it was a brutal uh, bet to have game one be Lewis Heel, who else were you supposed to put in that position? Going forward, you had to use your higher leverage starters, and you barely came out of the Red Sox series. Say what you want about game one of the wild card. Absolutely his fault. But everything else has been on the offense and it has been on the pitching. And what is really shown to me is it's a monumental lack of foresight in getting relievers that are for stopping blood loss. We went into the trade deadline and got closer after closer after closer. And look, don't get me wrong. It's great to have options with closers. But what got us to the World Series last year was we had those guys. We had guys that if you needed to stop the bleeding, you got into a bases loaded situation, or if you got into situations where they gave up 2 runs and you needed a guy to get you through 2 more innings, so you could keep the guys in the game. We don't have that. We either have the ultimate high leverage eighth, ninth inning guys, who if you put them into the sixth, seventh, don't know how to really warm up for it, and then get knocked around. And the only guy that's really been good in those situations has been Fernando Cruz. Every other time that we put anybody in a relief situation, they kill us. Weaver has shown that he's not the same guy. He had that hamstring injury, and he has not been the Weaver from last year, where I felt like he was going in and he was throwing with authority and he was throwing with moxie, and he doesn't have it. And crazy as it is, I actually miss Clay Holmes. He was lights out in the playoffs. He was that kind of guy that you could put in a situation, not in a closing situation, mind you, but last year when we needed key outs, we put him in, and he was nails. We don't have that. We absolutely messed up by trying to get a high leverage closer after high leverage closer, and we finally got him with Bednar. But the rest of the bullpen is completely gone. And I don't know if you can fully blame Cashman, but yeah, he's the guy at the top. Who else can you blame? Who else can you blame for the Yankees falling apart in the last 2 games? It's not Boone. As much as we want to lambast him, he's a puppet. I know it. You know it. Every freaking fan in the league knows it. He goes by the analytics. The analytics team is run by Boone. Run by Cashman. And you can't get angry at a guy that has no power. He has no power. He doesn't make the lineups. I've been saying this for quite a while. Maybe not on the podcast because I just started it, but I've been saying it for quite a while. Cashman needs to go. He's a fossil. He'll have great idea here and there, but when it really comes down to the guys that can win a championship, he doesn't know. And he's proven this. He's proven this time and time again. Why did we have Peraza in our farm system, and we knew he was nothing, but when he had tradability, we didn't get rid of him. We didn't market him. I don't believe in Spencer Jones. For how long he's been in our farm system. And you can say he's the power hitting and he looks like another Judge. I don't want another Judge. I want to win a championship. I don't want to have freaking numbers up the wazoo and nothing to show for it. Aaron Judge is what he always will be. Great player, Hall of Fame numbers. He will never, ever, ever win. And we just have to accept that. We saw it last year. He had good numbers against the Dodgers every time we played them in the regular season. Did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he's showing up again. He'll have a couple dink and dunk base hits here and there. Garbage time home run. But when the pressure's really on, he's never there. He's never there. And it's the saddest freaking thing. I don't want to sound like a brat and say, oh, this guy did nothing for us. I don't want to have to say that. But the main thing as a Yankee fan, what we want is a championship. And the reality is he will never give it to us. In our heart of hearts, you know this. And the offense is completely fallen apart. Because it's not just Judge not hitting now. Stanton has not woken up. And Stanton, for better or worse, has been the power of our offense through every single one of our playoff runs. He has now woken up. And it's been the young guys. The guys that you didn't even think were gonna really do it. Volpe's has had a decent postseason thus far, but eventually, you get to a point where even if the big guys aren't hitting, you can't. And as much as I like Rice and Volpe's had his issues, I'm not gonna dog on him. He's had a good postseason. As much as I would like to really go in on him, especially for the regular season that he's had and the errors and everything else, he's looked solid. He's had solid defense. He's had decent numbers. But the guys that you expect to be there, the guys that power your offense, just haven't. The offense has looked anemic, absolutely anemic. And when does everybody start hitting again? What, we hungover? It boggles the mind. It boggles the mind that a team that has all this moxie, has all this pressure about being the New York Yankees and seizing the moment and then we want to win more than anything else and then giving us the whole ringer, the whole king caboodle about, oh, we're not gonna give up. Oh, we took it as an insult that we got the American League champion rings for the pennant, and we didn't finish the job. You're not finishing the job now. What? But you're taking the Red Sox series as the World Series now? I don't believe in this team, and it's sad because we have pieces. We have Lagrange in Double A. We got Lombard that's starting to come up the system. We have pieces. But the big guys, the guys that you expect to perform in the clutch, ain't there. And they're just not getting to that point. They have not performed at the level that they should have. The Boston series shouldn't have been as close as it was. And you should not have gone into this Toronto series and gotten smacked. I understand you lose one game. But not back-to-back, absolutely deflating losses like you did. And if you're going to get rid of anybody, it should be Cashman. He has had too much time in this organization, and he has completely lost the script. He doesn't care about winning anymore. It's just get to the next season. Just get to the next season. And I knew exactly what last year was. Trading for Soto. Because that was gonna be his thing, so he could go and get the Yankees to the next level. Everybody would shut up and go along with the flow. And then he can use that as his get out of jail free card for the next 5 years or however longer. And then everybody's you're gonna have all the sycophants like Michael Kay going, oh, well, he brought you to the World Series. How can you be so didn't win it, and he doesn't get it. How many guys have wanted to be with the Yankees? Years spent without having any solid left-handers until last year. And I'm sorry, I'm not bringing the numbers. I'm just so frustrated, so absolutely frustrated with this team because it's not a situation where I think Toronto's just hands and hands down, leagues above us. No, I don't believe it. But they're playing it. They're absolutely playing it, and they're whipping our asses, and it angers me because this has never been a team that I would consider a rival. They're not. They're not a rival, but they're gonna punch us in the mouth, and then we're gonna have to start treating them. You didn't do business. You didn't take care of business with the Astros. How many times did they embarrass us with that? Now every single one of our rivals or anyone in the AL East has decided, hey, let's just pick off a couple pieces of whatever the hell was left of the Astros dynasty. They beat the Yankees. Why not? It's just sickening. I mean, going back, right? Bryce Harper was on free agency. You never even made a move. It's just there's so many egregious things over the years that you could look at and go, this is the move he didn't make. This is the move he didn't make. Without going fully more into the rant against Cashman at this point, because I just don't even really want to. It's so frustrating to just keep seeing this done over and over again because we're not getting over the hump, and we keep finding different teams that are more complete, that have better pitching or better hitting and better this or that, better defensively. It's the same issue. We're better defensively, but we still have the issues with the freaking base running, amateurish. That is Boone's fault, though. If anything, that is absolutely Boone's fault. If you want to go after Boone, the amateur base running, the lack of discipline at the plate, looking at Ben Rice. How many times can you swing at something that completely out of the zone? A mile under the plate. Love the guy, but that's not the sort of hitting that we need for the playoffs. They need a lot of work. They need to figure something out and pull up the big boy pants and try to win the next 3 games. Because if they don't, and I'm telling you this, if they don't even win the next 2, it's a complete embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment. If Hal Steinbrenner really gives a shit about this team, everybody would be gone. Because you cannot tell me that you got past Boston. You get past. You don't have a Houston Astros team in the playoffs, and then you're expecting that Toronto comes and punches you in the mouth, not once but twice, and then they knock you out of the playoffs. It's ridiculous. George would have fired everybody. And look, we can all say, oh, we're not patient. Hey, house, you can ask anybody. I said complete rebuild. You know I went in with Judge. I would have let him walk. And that's a hot take, and people will probably say I'm nuts. I'm completely out of my mind. But you've already seen Boston's completely rebuilt. They're ready to go. Outside of the defensive issues, they're going to be a good team for many years to come. What are we going to do when the situation comes? And it's coming. Because it's going to be the same thing with Judge that we've seen with Stanton. And I love Stanton, but the guy's a net zero on the bases. If it ain't a home run, or if it isn't a bases clearing double, he ain't worth the damn. His little dinky base hits don't help. Because he's on the base path. And he can be easily picked off. And God help us when he's on third and you're gonna try to do a sac fly. You're not getting him back. Most guys pick him off. If you're outfielder doesn't have a noodle arm. It's a team that was poorly constructed. They went into it thinking that Stanton and Judge would their power just by that alone they would have won a championship by now. They have wasted money and they haven't outside of the Soto year. They haven't really put anyone around him. Bellinger's a good player, but he's not. He hasn't been the offensive juggernaut that we thought he was going to be. He's been great, but he's not that. He's not that guy that you put in the lineup, and you go, oh, hit this many home runs, and make them afraid to pitch to you. So they have to pitch to Judge. Hasn't been that. Absolutely ridiculous. But I can scream, and a lot of fans can scream till they're blue in the face. I doubt anything gets done. And as embarrassing it is, if we get eliminated in the ALDS, it's gonna be business as usual. And I'm hoping they come back. But in reality, in my heart of hearts, this is not a team that's going to win. I mean, it's a sad realization, but the reality is you have to be realistic. We can all be pie in the sky and really believe that this team is going to go anywhere, and reality is just smacked you in the face twice. You want to be positive, but the facts have showed themselves. Going forward, I'm going to do a breakdown of the ALDS. If the Yankees do end up getting eliminated, I'll have that out, and I'll do a end of the year breakdown, and I might cover the AL and NLCS as little treats for anyone who listened to my previous ramblings, and I'll do a wrap up for the season after the World Series. So, yeah, look out for that. And sorry if I'm sounding a little bit defeated, but yeah, it's a rough couple days. And signing off. Thank you for listening, and let's go Yanks.